Okay, guys, here we go. We got lots of good stuff. Well, lots of stuff. Good. Good is a stretch to talk about today. Now, as always, if you're watching this video on VOD, on replay of this stream, I give a few minutes at the beginning here just if YouTube is going to decide to send out any notifications for them to do so. But as soon as we get a few people in, we'll start talking about our topic. So if you want to scan forward, by all means, go ahead and do so. I mean, it's bad enough that I assault you with this visage as it is. You don't want to have to sit in front of it any longer than necessary. Starting to find our way in. Hi, Wolverine. Hi, Nosebleed. Hi, Chrome. Yeah, we're going to have some fun today. We got some fun stuff to talk about. I'm curious to see what you guys' take on a lot of this will be. Hi, Jay. Maku's in. Oh, man, we got it. Actually, did we have some notifications go out? I can't imagine that would be the case, but and Sajil's here. Lachlan's in. Oh, this whole Coldplay cheaters thing. Yeah, it's it's actually a riot. It is really, really funny. And there's one part of it that's and I'll talk to you guys about it when we get to that topic. There's one part about it that's really hateable. I mean, at first, well, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because that'll be later in the live stream here, but I will say this much. At first, it was just, as you said, it's kind of funny. And then somebody crossed the line to where they showed a lot about themselves and made themselves a primo villain. Hey, Spaz Dev. There's a, is it too early to have a beer? Maku says, I'm not a beer drinker myself, but I always say, whatever you're feeling, do it. Oh, whatever you're feeling sounds sexy. Hey, Adil. I didn't catch it. Now, I might be behind on something here. Adil says, I don't think it's a coincidence that the White House announced Trump's illness. What illness? Did I miss that? That bad? I haven't seen hardly any news today. I'm going to be checking a lot of it out with you guys right now. That bad makeup on his hand was funny at first, cringeworthy later. Charlie. That jump scare gets me every freaking time. Some vascular issue in his hands. Really? If you guys remind me, when we get to the general section of the stream today, where we're just finding topics to talk about, bring that up again. Remind me, I'll look that up. I have not seen that. Wonder what that's all about. Vascular issues.
Hey, Curtis, I might have COVID. Too. Let's go!
Oh, no. Hopefully if you do, you just kick it, my friend. Last time I had it, it didn't do much to me at all. But I know everybody's different. I didn't take anything for it other than I took some Dayquil, some NyQuil, and it's gone. Adil says they said Trump had a tumor in his leg. They're doing everything they can to bury the Epstein files. Wow, that's interesting. Guys, if you would, again, because I'll forget, we got 3 stories we're going to cover specifically, and then we'll go into a section where we're just looking up news of the day and discussing it. When we get to that section, would you guys please remind me about this? Because I will forget about that. Mosquito bite that he put ointment on people. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll read up on that more. All right, but let's get right into it. The reason I wanted to talk about the Epstein files is for one purpose and one specific purpose. I think the thing that annoys me the most about this, and you would think this should be pretty much common sense, is we have extremely notable people throughout the world who apparently were very interested in traveling to an island and having improper relations with children. Now, here's the thing. I don't give a shit what political party you're from. I don't care what your position or your station is in life. If you are one of those people, I want you thrown under a prison. And the problem I'm running into with all this, as is everything, at least in America, it's constantly a left versus right battle. And I understand why, but this is one of those cases where you guys on the extreme right, you guys on the extreme left, I even used the right hands, not bad to illustrate, back off blaming the other side. There is no sides. And when you do that, when you have one side just trying to shift all the blame to the other, that creates a great
Thank you for covering
distraction.
Coldplay. That is the real issue here. I was caught at a
We're
Miley Cyrus
going
concert
to
fucking Vegeta in the ass using the moves that Praga
my.
you told me. It takes a tremendous amount of effort to make a Saiyan come. Epstein? Never heard of her. Tell that to Roshi. Russia.
Wow.
Send Tien to launch a tri-beam. The war is over.
We really
Stream over.
We really took a whole different direction with the stream there. Wow. But my issue with it is, my issue with it is it doesn't matter. I'm trying to get back to what I was saying. It doesn't matter which side you're on. I don't care. Now you guys know I lean conservative in a lot of things. I always put an asterisk by that because not in everything. As you can well imagine, being an atheist, there's no way I'm going to go right down the line with conservatives because there's too many things that are based on what they believe
there is
God
no side, especially if they eat
would
children.
do.
It's scary that marriage age can be 15 years old.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to say. When you allow that to happen, when you have one side just trying to make sure the blame shifts to the other, that just it defers the true issue even more. How can anybody care? Don't defend anybody in this. Don't defend Trump. Don't defend Clinton. Don't defend Prince Andrew. Don't defend anybody. All we should want is to find out who went there for illicit purposes, and then we need to start the process of getting some justice. Get some grand juries convened here. And the thing that bothers me too, now guys, we have to call it the Epstein files because now it's being said that it's not the Epstein, there is no client list. I don't know if that's true or not, but it doesn't make any difference if there's a client list. The fact remains, you have Ghislaine Maxwell, you had Epstein before he killed himself. You got information and you have access to more information. Make a deal with Ghislaine Maxwell if you need to. Get names out there. We're talking about powerful people who allegedly did horrific things to children. Now let's find out if those allegations, if we can take the allegedly off that. If they did do it, let's punish them as severely as we're allowed to punish them. I can't say on YouTube what I would like to see happen to anybody that victimizes a child. Oh, hold on. I got a quick commercial break. I switched into commercial mode. Just so you guys know, I've got a new side business, and I'd really like, if any of you are interested, please reach out to me. I've started a company that creates and distributes wood chippers. Wood chippers. Only wood chippers. The highest quality wood chippers too. We make wood chippers as well. The highest quality wood chippers you will find anywhere. They will chop up anything. You can chop up your trees, sure. But if you want to chop up other things too, if you want to chop up other things that have more of a fleshy feel to them or something, sure. Whatever you got that has to work. And by fleshy, of course, I just mean like, a fine leather or something like that. That's what I meant by fleshy. But if you're in need of a wood chipper, this is strictly unrelated to what we're talking about with Epstein. If you're in need of a wood chipper, please reach out to me. You know where to contact me. Okay, hold on. I got to switch back to... Okay, we're back in live stream mode now.
Hey.
Only wood chippers.
I'm going to the UK.
Only wood chippers. That's...
Looking forward to getting my liver destroyed.
Oh boy.
And my kidneys.
Okay, we might have to chill out on.
I love beans on toast.
if we're gonna have long diatribes.
Right here on the channel. She is a soulless cunt. But hey,
yeah,
she's a ginger. What could you expect?
From old Gordon, we may have to go away. It feels like I spent the whole day voice acting Baraka for a modern Mortal Kombat game.
That's
Real
too
gargling
bad.
gravel situation. I'll probably just lay low this stream.
No, understandable. Yeah, like I said, the last time I had it was similar to what you're describing. I remember it started with a sore throat, and I got some pretty significant flu symptoms, but it wasn't too tough to kick last time. I'm hoping the same works out for you. So all I'm trying to say here is, listen, drop the partisanship on this. And what I was leading to is, it doesn't really matter if there's a client list. We know there's plenty of information out there. Come on, in investigation, you know that they interviewed Epstein. I would hope they interviewed him rather thoroughly. They interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. You would hope they interviewed her rather thoroughly. There have been, as far as I understand, they have talked to some of the alleged victims. They've got to have that information on file. Somebody somewhere knows exactly who was on those planes. You don't, at any level in this world, you don't fly on an airplane without it being recorded and logged somewhere. So we know who was flying on those planes. Others have said, especially when they're protecting their team, well, just because they flew there doesn't mean they did anything wrong. Okay, you're right. But it does mean it's well worth investigating. Now, if it's true as now those defenders on the right have said that Trump only flew on Epstein's plane to Florida. Okay, if that's true, that's as long as there was nothing untoward going in Florida, fine, whatever. But I don't, as I've said, I don't care if it's Trump. I don't care who it is. Let's do something about this. And now here's the thing. You can't blame it on either side, because right now I'm stunned that Trump has glossed over this. I really didn't think he would do that. And then he has the balls to go out and publicly basically tell people to get over it. Why the fuck should we get over it? If you got high-ranking officials in government diddling kids, no, there's no getting over it. We find out who they are. And, hey, did you guys know I have a business started?
Sorry, I might be laying low on opinions on this stream. I had a 1-hour argument with a feminist who believed in equal, but don't want to work as much as the male counterparts, but want same pay.
We can take on that topic at some point too. The whole wage inequality thing. We can talk about that at some point. But that, I don't know. Am I wrong? Should there be any partisanship to this? Should there be any sides in this? How can you possibly even? I don't care. And I'll say this too, as somebody who has voted to the right lately, has voted conservative lately. If going through the Epstein files and going after everybody who might have done something untoward in relationship to Epstein and that island, if that meant that the balance of power would actually shift in the House or in the Senate, I don't give a shit.
Oh, me and the boys.
I want everybody who's
wouldn't stop until he was calling us daddy.
Who is and it has anything to do with Epstein Island to be brought up on charges.
In the name of the law, you're under arrest for molesting Volcano Head. He isn't a cock sleeve.
On topic. Now let's see what everybody's saying here. So Jill says there's a cover-up going on for sure. Yeah, no doubt. Many contradictory statements from Pam Bondi. It made for some good photo op moments, but now they don't want to deliver. Yeah, what the hell is up with that? And again, I'll even be willing to acquiesce that if what she said is true about there was a misunderstanding when she said she had it on her desk. She says what she meant was she had the Epstein files on her desk, not a list. There was no formal list. Even if that's true, so what? We want to know what's in those files that were on your desk. You said you had files on your desk. What's in those files? Coloring? Is it, crayon work that Pam Bondi puts on a refrigerator that certain FBI agents did or something? We want listen, how? We know that island existed. We know what Epstein was doing. We know what Maxwell was doing. How is it possible that nobody else is taking any heat for this? How is that even, how are any of us even justifying that? How are we allowing that to be the case? Although in fairness, I can't say that en masse. Actually, the masses have been doing a pretty good job of not letting this die. So really, that's unfair. It's one of the few times social media has been working well, because there should be constant pressure on people. And then what pisses me off too, the Democrats put forth a bill that would have allowed for a full investigation into the Epstein files. And of course, and again, I'm not blaming this just on Democrats, both sides do it. They attached a bunch of things on their wish list to it, knowing that Republicans would say no to it because they didn't want those other things attached to go through, and then they could blame them for not wanting to do anything about it. That's bullshit, and I'll tell you why. Anybody in Congress anywhere, get some balls, step up, and put a standalone bill saying we want all the answers on the Epstein, on the Epstein files. We want to know everything that is known about what went there and who went there. Standalone bill, nothing else attached. Nobody's got the balls to do that because they're all protecting each other. Now, supposedly, Bondi's going to release the grand jury information. So what? That's a little something. I don't think it'll tell you an awful lot. If the Democrats are serious about this, take that provision about the Epstein files that they put in that recent bill and just make it a standalone. And even the goats are with me on that one. Make it a standalone bill. Then if anybody votes no now, anybody that would vote no on that should be primaried, should be voted out at the very first opportunity. Anybody who would vote no on a standalone bill on Congress being able to get to the bottom of everything that went on Epstein Island, or what we know that went on Epstein Island. Anybody who would vote against that should not even have an approval rating. It should be in the negative numbers.
You
it
said if
they
had balls?
If they had balls, yes. Right, Spaz Dev. But like I say, you have to try it. That's why it's always best, guys, never read a headline without reading the underlying. Read the whole story too. And even if you see it on social media, because that's what I do. If you see a headline on social media that somebody posted, read the responses. Whether it's something that pisses you off or something you agree with, read the responses. Because when you read the responses, there will always be somebody trying to counteract it. And it doesn't take long to figure out who's telling the truth and who isn't. Of course, the Dems they didn't try to get the files out there. They were going to have, they put out a bill to have it all investigated and attached it with a bunch of stuff that they knew Republicans would vote no on. And again, that was just political posturing to try and be able to say, oh, Republicans, they don't want to know anything about the Epstein files. If you want to prove that, by all means, take that exact language and put it in a standalone. Then you would prove it. And I'll be with you 100%. Anybody that votes no on that as a standalone, they definitely shouldn't be holding public office. Chrome says, you want to know what the real question is, given how many people have probably handled this info to cover it up? How has exactly 0 people leaked any of it? I thought the same thing, Chrome. Could it be terror? Just abject fear? I don't know. That's all I can figure. Oh, and just so you guys know, with me going off on my rant here, 100%, I am not suicidal, even a little bit. Please clip that part and play it on loop if need be. Shelby Wright says it's because 95% of them are in there, both sides. And I think, Shelby, I agree. Not necessarily physically went that many of them, but they're all in on it that they're either had connections to this scumbag Epstein, or they're protecting people who did. Because I'm sure there are plenty of people who never had any interaction with Jeffrey Epstein, but these same people in Congress know that if they want to be supported at any point by their party,
if 2 are dead,
truth, or fear dying. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you. Yes, I have a love of life. I am not suicidal at all. They don't want to get whacked. That's what I'm thinking too, Patrick. I mean, that's all I can figure, because Chrome makes a good point. You know, there's been enough of this information and these files bandied about that there being not a single leak is actually, yeah, it makes you take pause. And I am so disgusted with Trump and the Trump administration. It was one thing, okay, if you're, I don't buy it, but if you're trying to go with the whole, well, no, you misunderstood, there never was a list, it was just the files. Well, so what? So give us a breakdown of what's in those files. Let us know what names. You have names somewhere. You know goddamn well you do. Again, you interviewed Epstein. You interviewed Ghislaine Maxwell. You have names. You have people of suspect. And you're too chicken shit to do anything about it. Because you're all protecting each other. That's terrifying. It really is when you think about it. Our government is basically sitting up there in their ivory towers going, yeah, some of us diddled kids, so what, plebes? Shut up and move on. That's what we're being told. Drop it. We don't feel like talking about it. You'll do as you're told. That's the attitude of government. And I have never in my life been an anti-government person. Even if whoever I was rooting for, say, in a presidential election didn't win, I'm not anti that government. You know, I voted for Trump against Biden. When Biden won, I'm not anti-government. I always want the country to do well. I live here. This is the first time in my life I've become what you could call an anti-government person. And it's not because of the government as an entity. It's because of the scumbags who are running it. I'm not sure if that anonymous leak was ever accurate or not. That was a flight log leak. It could be. I'm not really sure. I don't know if anybody knows for sure if that was legit or not. Patrick says, whatever you think of Trump as a president, there's no denying that he is a pervert. Well, I will say this, Patrick. Yeah, is he bawdy? Yes, I will, and not just Trump, anybody. I'm not going to make a leap to saying anybody is a PDF file without some concrete evidence. That includes Bill Clinton. That includes everybody. That's a big leap to take. Is Trump a womanizer? Is Trump someone who is proud of the fact that women will let him grab them by the pussy? 100%. That doesn't mean you take that step over, as I said, into PDF file. And I know it's childish that we have to say things like that, but on YouTube you do. Right. Exactly, Chrome. So there's a difference between the perv and Epstein. Yes. Has he shown what could be classified as pervy tendencies? Absolutely. But I don't make that leap on anybody without some solid evidence. Because there's no coming back from that. That's the worst. Victimizing a child, I think, is the worst thing you can do. Because I've said that before, and people say, well, what about kill someone? Yeah, not even close. There are reasons you might need, well, now we're on YouTube. There are reasons you might need to take a serious action against someone. Maybe they're threatening your own life. Maybe they're threatening the lives of your loved ones. There's a number of reasons. There is no reason to ever victimize a child. None. He was a rock star, basically, right, MT? And again, so yes, you absolutely can make that case that he was way too over the top with how he his relationships with women. But I'm not making that leap on anybody till we know that it's legit. And then, and I don't give a shit if it's Trump. As I said, I genuinely don't care who it is. Then it's under the prison time. Don't make me have to go into my commercial again. I don't want to have to keep promoting my products on here.
I also got disappointed in Trump when he released that law on the overtime tax exempt. It was not what it seemed.
Yeah, well, a lot in the big, beautiful bill, and we'll go into that. You know, that's going an offshoot here. We can tackle that in another stream. But a lot of the things in the big, beautiful bill did not end up being worded the way that they were promised. Zanusia says, my theory is that Epstein laundered money for the wealthy, so even those who are not connected to the island want it kept a secret. Interesting. That's very interesting. And knowing the little bit I do about Epstein's contacts, certainly not a wild suggestion by any stretch. That's interesting. Wolverine says, I know a lot of Christians who wholeheartedly treat Trump as the closest thing to the second coming of Christ. Yeah, Mr. I cheated on my wife repeatedly as the ideal Christian. You guys know me. I'm not for deifying anyone at any time. To be honest with you, when I voted for Trump, I don't do it with glee. I vote for presidents. I vote for anybody in elected office based strictly on policy, and if their views closely resemble my own. Personality-wise, I would have never voted for him for anything. Chrome says, can we just call them nonsense? It's an actual term, won't get hit like the other word, and it's less dumb than PDF. Yeah, I have to find something, but it's ridiculous that I have to say PDF file, nonsense, or anything else, to be honest with you. Well, we'll find out now, Tyler. He says Trump will veto any bill to release the Epstein files. He's been pretty consistent on not releasing it. Well, I can't say he's been consistent. This is a new thing. That's why it shocked me. He had been saying all along it was all getting released. And then this just recently became well, maybe not. And yeah, I'm 100% irritated by that. Now, he says he's told, Bondi supposedly is releasing the grand jury details. I don't know how much that'll tell us, but I think, and this is what I want. Again, guys, it's up to Congress. Congress needs to take that portion of that bill that they recently tried to pass where there would be a full investigation, an entire investigation into the whole Epstein mess. Take it out of that bill and put it through as a standalone. I don't care if it's Democrats that put it through, Republicans. I don't care who does it. Somebody needs to put it through. But the best thing we could do, and it won't happen, we could do as a society, is just on this topic alone, stop playing sides. Don't defend anybody. Everybody's take on this should be 100% pointed at the government saying, listen, we want full transparency, period. Don't care how you do it. And whoever you find that did something untoward with children, we want them put under a prison somewhere, period. Don't care if there's an R next to their name, a D next to their name, whatever. Whoever they are, whatever position they hold, see you, bye. That's it. Don't defend anybody. I don't care what your political leanings are. As I said, as somebody who's voted conservative, I don't care if it flipped the balance of power in the House and the Senate. Who gives a shit? As long as you get the scumbags who did it and get them out of there. Sajil says, I think we're seeing the beginning of the end of the Trump era. Pendulum is about to swing hard in some ways for the better. I'm a big numbers guy. You may not be wrong about MAGA. A lot of Trump's hardcore followers. When I say MAGA, unlike what you see online, I'm talking about the hardcore Trump followers. MAGA doesn't include everybody who has a conservative lean. I never consider myself MAGA. But I think you're seeing some of his hardcore followers that were really, really put off by him backing off on this whole Epstein thing. And then, understandably, put off even more so when he basically told people to shut up and just deal with it. So I don't think you're wrong there. However, as a numbers guy, I follow polls all year round, not just during election season and stuff. Republicans aren't hurting against them. Democrats are viewed ridiculously poorly right now. You can find them. Again, that's a separate topic. We'll go into it. Have to go into it at a different time. But you can find them. I mean, all you have to do is Google search.
How would you feel
recent
if they are
Democrat
guilty
Republican polls,
but they legally
whatever?
changed their name? So since they did, it erases past history.
Well, if you legally change your name, no, you could. It depends on the crime. That's all statute of limitations, not name change. Listen, anybody who had anything to do with that, if anybody was anywhere, but specifically in this case Epstein Island, and did something untoward with children, I want them punished as firmly as we can punish them. as severely as we can punish them. Period. I don't care who they are. I don't give a shit. Oh, okay. It was just I never know what somebody might think about changing the names. Crimson Emperor, Dems are currently below 30% in various recent polls. Right. And that's what I'm saying. So do I think MAGA might be taking a hit? Yes. Do I think Republican control is in jeopardy? Not right now. CNN just did it. Again, I'm getting off topic a little. CNN just the other day had one of their statisticians on there, and he was comparing, July or this point in past Republican presidents and where people's feelings were statistically on Republicans versus Democrats. Well, the last two times this was the case, Democrats had a huge lead in every metric. Now, where the numbers are right now, if you apply those numbers, it would be a plus 12 pickup in 2026 for Republicans in the House. That's insane. The last two times they lost a bunch of seats. Now, this is only July of 2025. Hell, I was going to say things are going to change a lot by November 2026. Things could change a lot by next week, the way politics goes. But as of right now, it's really not good for Democrats. Oh, and the Epstein video footage. Thank you, sweet dude. I was going to bring that up. I guess we've determined for sure that there were 3 minutes cut out of it and it was spliced together. Now, that wouldn't even be as big. Well, it's always going to be an issue. I shouldn't say that. But what makes that an even bigger issue is it was presented to us as being untouched. Here's the pure video. No, it isn't. Our politicians are not only slimy, they fully believe we're all morons. They really do. And that will just buy anything. And unfortunately, social media helps run cover for them in doing that. Because, again, this is why I despise rage engagers on social media, whose only purpose is to get people riled up. Because they're a big part of the reason why we have things the way we do. No matter what grotesque or ridiculous thing someone does on either side of the aisle, they know they have their little minions who will spin it for them in social media. And that's a big part of the problem. I can't stand those people. And again, both sides, right or left. We're not taking sides here. Anybody who posts things that are either flat out lies, misleading, or purely hyperbolic, just to create some rage, to explain what I think, I'd have to go and do another commercial for my new product. So, Sweet Dude says, the question is, do they not care or are they just really incompetent? Could be both. Those aren't mutually exclusive. Could be both. I would vote both. Like 2 minutes were cut out because the camera doesn't cover 24 hours. Yeah. Prison. Yeah, cameras in prisons are known to need to take a break every so often. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't think they're interested in smoothing it over, Chrome. Either side. I don't think either side is interested in smoothing this over. I think they both believe that they can just keep kicking the can down the road and we'll forget about it eventually. That's what they're hoping for. I believe 100% that's what they're hoping for. All right, let's go, guys. I got that off my chest now. This is just something else I picked up off of X Twitter here. I guess this is Obama-era intel manipulation alleged by DNI Gabbard. Directioner. I tend to make up words a lot lately. Some of them are pretty cool, though. Director of National Intelligence.
Weinstein, Dershowitz, Polanski. The Jews can't stop getting away with this. At least with Cuomo, we can add a Gentile to the list so the Jews can have a break. Anyway, vote for anyone but Cuomo or defend your penis or vagina or both. Me? I'm just a guard working minimum wage, $5 But my armor is worth more. No healthcare plan, no potion.
No potion. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has released declassified documents suggesting that during the Obama administration, intelligence was manipulated to falsely implicate Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. election, aiming to undermine President Trump's presidency. These documents allege that President Obama was briefed that Russia did not impact the election outcome, yet pushed for further assessments to support a narrative of collusion. The matter has sparked calls for investigation into what Gabbard describes as a conspiracy. This still has a lot of unfolding to do, but if true at all, that one really disappoints me. I've told you guys this before, and I did vote for Barack Obama once. By the time he was through with his first term, I realized Obama and I were just too different in our take for me to vote for him again. That said, I never had anything against the guy. And that disappoints me if this is true. That really does. That's serious shit. I guess it shouldn't disappoint me just because, again, I've told you guys before, this question was asked to me. Of the presidents of my lifetime, if there was one I could pick that I'd want to hang out with, to take politics out of it 100%, just as a person, it would be Obama. He always just seemed like the kind of person that I would like. And that's not true of any of the other presidents in my lifetime. So that's disappointing to me. I don't know what kind of evidence they have, but I'll be honest with you, that's disappointing to me. I'm just looking through some of the, well, let's hear what they're saying. Let's some details here, guys. Let's
Presidency. DNI Tulsi Gabbard declassifying pages.
let's take a listen to this.
Obama's black book, and it turns out Barack knew the Russia hoax was a hoax all along, but pushed it.
Now this is coming from Fox News, so you got to be listening carefully.
Tulsi Gabbard declassifying pages and pages of documents showing Obama's intel guys briefed him just weeks after the 2016 election that the Russians didn't actually sway the election.
I don't want this to be the case. If this is the case, I don't know how you can just let it drop.
Quote, we assessed that Russian and criminal actors did not impact the recent U.S. election results.
Okay.
Criminal activity also failed to reach the scale and sophistication necessary to change election outcomes. But Obama just couldn't accept that. So he and his staff instructed intel agencies to cook up new reports to support Russia collusion. Quote, after the meetings, Clapper's executive assistant emailed...
This is rough. Damn, this is really rough. Holy crap. Let's listen to the rest of it.
Intelligence community leaders, tasking them to create a new intelligence community assessment per the president's request that detailed the tools Moscow used and actions it took to influence the 2016 election. Tulsi Gabbard described what she found as a conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people. And she says the people involved should be prosecuted and has made a criminal referral to the Department of Justice.
Oh, crap. Let's see if does anybody have anything on it that doesn't come from Fox News. Although really, all he did was quote the information that they were given, so you can't really say that they were playing with anything there. Yeah, now you're just going to get all, again, you're going to get all the rage engagers trying to work people up. This one, not even so much rage engaging. This one is news. I don't see any other videos of it. That's a problem. That's a problem if it happened. Why I don't understand, I'm genuinely, I try and look at everything, every plausible explanation for anything we learn. I don't know if it's as per the president to continue looking into it. That's pretty damning. It's entirely hard to trust Fox News, Shelby, but that's why whenever I read a news article or listen to any of the news stations, you have to do it. You have to do it with a very critical eye and ear. Here, he basically just related what was in what Gabbard presented. So there's not much slanting you can do with that. If everything, I mean, outside of Tulsi Gabbard's documentation not being genuine, but I really don't think they would have brought something like that to light if they, it wasn't 100% ironclad that it actually came from the Obama administration. That's a really big deal. Zanussi says worse than Watergate. I would say right up there with it. Yeah, I mean, Nixon's trying to get information on the Democrats to leverage that, and then you have basically here them trying to create some information for public consumption that will tilt the scales against Trump and Republicans. So I'd say pretty much the same thing. Let's see. Shelby says, I don't know, it's hard to trust. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I just read that. They used to report on things the American media avoided. Yeah. I mean, what you have to do with anything you consume in media, online, like I say, if you read anything on social media, read the responses. What happens with people, it's just human nature. If you read something this Rage Engager posts and it's something you like hearing, you want to believe it's true. So then you just tend to take it and run with it. But you always got to read responses, because when you read responses, someone might say something that makes you go, oh, yeah, well, that's probably actually what went on. Sajil says Obama hasn't addressed anything either. Looks really suspicious, especially with Trump taking heat and trying to say Obama created the Epstein files. Wasn't expecting this from Obama. Yeah, I'm honestly, again, and not somebody whose politics I support in general. I mean, I go back and forth across the aisle with a lot of my beliefs. So here and there, Obama and I agree, but not for the large part. But not anybody I never had any feelings of disrespect towards Obama at all. And if this happened, that's really disappointing. I mean, if I disliked Obama, I could sit here and gloat about it, and I would. But I don't dislike the guy. And it's just really, if something like this had happened to, if something like this had happened to Clinton, or Hillary, not Bill, so Hillary Clinton, yeah, I'd gloat about it. I think it was because I don't like her, but I actually like Obama. I'm just so disappointed in that. Let's move on. I don't even want to. Well, it's all going to unfold over the coming days. But as far as my take on it, if that's actually what happened, yeah, Obama's got to answer for it legally, I would say. Okay, now here, this is a little on the lighter side. If any of you haven't seen it, I think everybody has seen the Coldplay incident. Now, basically, just to give a background for anybody who didn't, at a recent Coldplay concert, they had the fan cams going, right? And they take a shot of this couple getting all snuggled up. He was giving her, it looked like he was giving her titties a pretty good squeeze, good workout. And the woman immediately turns around, faces the camera. The guy just dumps down out of view. Come to find out, it was some CEO and somebody, what was it? Astronomer CEO, Andy Byron. And she works for the company as well. They're both married, but not to each other. If you haven't seen this, you gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Now there they are. Oh, look at these two. Oh, look at bye. Where'd he go? And now they're saying, I'm hearing that this lady here, I don't know if this is true. It would make sense. I'm hearing that lady there works for the company as well. So now she's like, I mean, not that she did anything wrong, but she's certainly implicated if she happens to be friends with the CEO's wife or anything, and because she apparently knew what was going on and did nothing about it. But before we watch it to the end, one more time, let's see the ultimate in oh fuck moments. It was at this moment he knew he fucked up. Right here. Yeah. This is great. This is great. Come on, you're okay? Bye, dude. Where are you going? Oh, there's spilled beer and soda on the ground and popcorn. What the hell are you doing down there? What's your problem, bro? And did you guys hear the announcer? Listen. I don't know if you heard him. Oh, look at these two. All right. That's perfect. What does he say? Oh, look at these two. Oh, that was the absolute best. You know what? You're probably right, Patrick. Patrick says they would have had a better chance of getting away with it if they just didn't react. You're probably right. I never thought about that until Patrick just said it. But if they'd have just been chill about it and he'd have at least taken his hands, isn't he copping a feel there at the beginning? Yeah. If he'd at least quit squeezing her tits and just moved his hands down to her waist or something, everybody would have been like, at the concert would have been like, caught you copping a feel. But as soon as they dove, you knew something was up. Oh, shit. Now, but here's the part. Now, when this all took place, guys, I thought it was, and still do think it was funny. But let me see if I can find this. Andy Byron's apology. You got to hear this. Now, this is where I started disliking somebody. Let me see if I can find this. Somebody's got to have it. Okay. Now, here we go. This is, now that CEO, this is his apology. I want to acknowledge the moment that's been circulating online and the disappointment it's caused. Didn't disappoint me. I thought it was hilarious. Thanks, Andy. And how disappointed could you be? You're squeezing titties. What was supposed to be a night of music and joy turned into a deeply personal mistake, playing out on a very public stage. Yes, it did. I want to sincerely apologize to my wife, my family, and the team at Astronomer. That's his company. You deserve better from me as a partner, as a father, and as a leader. Okay, this is boilerplate stuff. This is the I'm really sorry I got caught apology you would expect. This is not who I want to be or how I want to represent the company I helped build. I'm taking time to reflect, to take accountability, and to figure out the next steps personally and professionally. I ask for privacy as I navigate that process. Now here's where the other shoe drops and Andy Byron can go fuck himself vigorously. I also want to express how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment became public without my consent. I respect artists and entertainers, but I hope we can all think more deeply about the impact of turning someone else's life into a spectacle. Fuck you, Andy. That's a private moment. And now this is how you know the first part of Andy's statement was absolute total bullshit. I'm taking time to reflect, to take accountability. Next paragraph, he tries to absolve himself of accountability. There's no expectation of privacy in public at any level. We all see these stupid videos of these auditors online. That's a big thing now. People just out there with a camera trying to get people to react because there is not an expectation of privacy in public. I can go out onto the streets right now with my little iPhone here and shoot all the video I want. Nothing you can do about it. Take that a step further and you're at a concert venue with thousands of other people and you're crying because it should have been a private moment. If you wanted a private moment, Andy, you should have grabbed her tits while she was still in your office, not at the Coldplay concert. There's an obvious joke in there that if Coldplay was a better band, he would have been interested in that and not playing with their titties, and the skull could have been avoided. But but no, I don't mean that, because Coldplay did one of my favorite songs of all time. So fuck you, Andy Byron. That's what I hate this guy just for that. As a friend once sang, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. What a bullshit, bogus line that is at the end. Andy Byron is a disingenuous piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. Total narcissist, Chrome. This is classic narcissism right here. Right. Zanussia says, actual translation, my wife is divorcing me because of my actions, and I take no accountability. 100%. You guys are 100% right. Jesus Christ. Ignite your what? Yeah. Adil says his wife will get a lot of money if she divorces him, but I feel sorry for the other man whose wife cheated on him. He might lose half his fortune if he decides to divorce her. Well, that all depends on the state and the judges involved. But, I mean, he's just... I don't have any sympathy or any empathy for him in anything he does. Nor should we. I mean, it wasn't an accident that he was squeezing her tits. You know, they were obviously fooling around together. So you got caught, and now you got to deal with it. But that whole, that one paragraph, how troubling it is that what should have been a private moment. As this is, Chrome said it perfectly. This is strictly the delusions of a narcissist. That's all it is. The guy is so delusional that he needs to figure out a way it was also somebody else. I take responsibility, but you know, I'm not the only one at fault here. I mean, I was at a concert with thousands of other people. The least someone could do is respect my privacy in that moment. What a douchebag. I mean, a serious douchebag. You want to expose a cheater? Then take them to a Coldplay concert. Well, now, guys, the memes that are going around are amazing because, of course, people are taking that still of him with his arms around her and putting different faces on it. Always unlikely pairings of people that you wouldn't expect to see snuggling up together. Private moment at a company outing. Yeah, with thousands of music fans. That's again, it was a comical thing to me. It was funny, just like it was to everybody else. And then I read that, and it's like, okay, now I went from thinking, what a stupid ass this guy was, but that's pretty funny, to I just can't stand this asshole. What an elitist dick. Jesus Christ. But I thought that's just hilarious. I can't get enough of that. But since he's such an asshole, let's watch it a couple more times, just so we can revel in his despair. Oh, look at these two. Look at these two needs to be clipped into a meme. Look at the blue shirt dude. Oh, I'm a camera. And I'm not banging anybody I'm not supposed to. Oh, what? They're having an affair, or they're just very shy. Don't you listen? I've been talking over him. I'll let you listen to the whole thing. Listen to the announcer catch on to what's going on immediately. Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? What? Either they're having an affair, or they're just very shy. Or they're just very shy. Okay, guys. Either they're having an affair or they're very shy. I'll take A. Oh, that was the best. Okay, now before we wrap up the stream, let's just cover whatever's topical at the moment. Let's refresh old X.com here, and we'll take a look at what's trending now. Why does X want me to follow Mr. Beast? I got nothing against Jimmy, but fuck Mr. Beast. I don't want to follow him. Okay, Terry AI, Rashford, Rory. Rory McIlroy must be doing well. Is the Open this weekend? I didn't even know that. The Open Championship? Jeez, I don't know shit. Iron Dome. What should we read up on? Tulsi, we already discussed that. Pompeo. UFC 318, big fight tonight. David Wright, Catterday. Charlie, I don't know who that is. Tabby, treason. That's relating back to the whole Obama thing. Play wild card. Cigarette. Sinbad. Tyler, Hillary, Suzanne. Where I got to go back to that one. Protestants. Me bounds. If it's me bounds, you know we're talking about Angel Reese. Oh, what did Hillary do? I try and go for the ones that have a lot of interaction. There's 93,000 on those. In a parallel universe, Hillary Clinton won. Americans got free health care, and Donald Trump serving crime in prison for rape. Now, that's called rage engagement. Hillary Clinton never once said she was for Medicare for all or single payer health care. It's just somebody, again, the angry ostrich. It's some loser who has nothing else going on in life and is hoping to get some attention through an anonymous X account by trying to get people to rage. Hillary was right about Tulsi. Hillary was right about everything. Okay, now you're talking. This is another one of those accounts. I'm telling you, I despise these people. Anybody who just posts stuff to try and get people raging at one another, I hate you with a passion. And this, again, a lot of them do this. They like to talk a big game, like to stir a lot of shit, but they don't want to back it up. So they have names like Protect Kamala Harris as their screen names. Please. What does this have to do with anything? Hillary was right about Tulsi Gabbard. She's the favorite of the Russians because she released some information that might be damning to Barack Obama. Hey, if what Tulsi released is somehow untrue, by all means, let us know. We all want to know. It doesn't seem like there's anything going on with Hillary. It's just her name came up in a bunch of different places. Sinbad. Oh, are we doing this again with the whole Shazam thing? Let's see. Now this person is saying, Sugar, saying, I remember watching this as a kid. How many of you guys know about this? Oh, yeah, I'll do Trump's illness next, too. Shazam. And it caught me, too. A lot of people swear they saw a movie called Shazam back in, what would it be, 80s, 90s, 90s, starring Sinbad. And to be perfectly honest with you, I thought I did too. No, I shouldn't say that. I never thought I saw it. I thought I remembered it coming out. I thought Sinbad was a pretty funny stand-up. I remember him being on one of those early talent shows they used to have. He did really well in it. And I always thought his stand-up was pretty funny. But I never got into anything else he did. But they say it didn't exist. And they're saying it's, somebody's got to have it, that Shaq movie instead. Does anybody relate it to that? What was Shaq's movie? Alakazam? Something like that? I thought somebody would post it for sure. Maybe not. How many of you think you saw Shazam? I don't know how many of you are old enough to even... Kazam, that was it. Thank you, Chrome. It's a Mandela effect. Must be. The movie is Kazam. They're mixed up the DC character. Yeah, that's... There we go. Y'all remember Kazam. Shaq was in everything back then. He had video shows, a few movies. True. He had Shaq Fu. And Sinbad was hot around that time, too. It's got to be what it was. But if you had... I will tell you this much, though, guys. Before this whole phenomena with people believing that they had seen this movie with Sinbad, if you had come to me and said, hey, did you ever see that movie Shazam with Sinbad? I would have told you no, but I remember when it came out because I thought I remembered seeing it like in the video stores and stuff. I could have sworn I did. That's so weird how that works. Now let's see what I'm just catching up on comments here. Baldora says, I think it was Hillary. It's probably to go after Trump. I don't think she's stupid enough to give attention to Obama. Yeah, Hillary. That Hillary trending, I think, was just because she came up in a lot of the conversations that are going on. But I mean, again, I'll point them out to you at any time. And I'll be glad to point out the people from the right and from the left. But those people who exist only to rage engage, I despise them. Can't stand them. And as I've said, and I'll tell you this too, it's not something I just say from sitting here in my living room. I would say it to their face. The reason I personally don't have any accounts anywhere on the internet that cannot be related directly back to me is I will never say anything that I won't say to the person's face. I won't do it. It's just not something I try and advise others to do or anything. I don't care what anybody else does. For me, if I'm willing to write it, say it on a stream or whatever, I will say it to your face. And Any of them. I will tell them to their face, given the opportunity, that I think they're scumbags. Adil says, I haven't had the Kazam phenomenon, but a lot of people on the internet talk. Yeah, Adil, I'm not lying. If you had asked me, again, I wouldn't say I saw it. Probably because I didn't see Kazam either. But I wouldn't have said I saw it, but I would have told you, yes, I do remember that movie. I remember seeing it in like the video rental places and stuff. But apparently I did not. Most people keep their name secret, Chrome. I don't have a problem with people doing it. I'm just talking about for me. Hold on. I'm going to grab Chrome's link real quick. I have to pull up a different page for that. In Europe, one is free to speak, not free to spread illegal content. Well, yeah, true. You're in a whole different situation over there. In Europe, one is free to speak, not free to spread illegal content. That's one of the most horrifying things for me personally I've ever seen. Because who is the arbiter? That's the problem in a nutshell. As soon as you say something like that, as soon as you say illegal content, now you've allowed somebody to be the sole arbiter of what is illegal content. And that's a scary, slippery slope right there. That's bullshit. That's the kind of thing, there's not much that would do it. If something like that were to take place here in America, that's the kind of thing I go out in the streets for. 100%. That is government overreach at every level. That is time for revolution as far as I'm concerned. Did he? Dayton Chris says Sinbad knows about the Shazam movie and made a commercial for the meme. Did he? It's pretty fascinating because, as I said, I would have said that I remembered it coming out. Didn't see it, but I would have told you I'd seen it in video stores. And apparently I would have been wrong. But again, it could be the same thing because I also didn't see Kazam. I didn't see the Shaq movie either. So maybe that's just what I was doing. I saw the Shaq movie in theaters and just mixed it up. I don't know. Their attention whores, aka Trolls Baldur, says, yeah. Well, it's more than that. It's just they're all trying to desperately grab those few pennies from Elon to see if they can get some people to respond to their shitty, useless posts. And again, once more, I don't care which side of the aisle or anything along those lines. Makes no difference to me. I don't want. I just can't stand those people. Hate them. Protestants, Mebounce. Mebounce has got to be about Angel Reese. What's she? Angel Reese won Mebounce out. Mebounce for her shoes. You know, it's funny. As far as the WNBA, I never followed it close at all. But I watch sports shows all the time, and I don't turn it off when the WNBA comes on. So I knew the team names. I knew some of the players. I never watched games, individual games, still don't. But I thought it was really going to be really good for the league when you had the whole Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese butting of heads, and of course Caitlin Clark coming out of college breaking all the scoring records for both men and women in the NCAA. I thought, wow, that'll be something good. Maybe I'll try a game here or there. But now it's become such a ridiculous drama show, like a Mean Girls episode. I've lost interest again. It's unfortunate. I think a lot of people are going to start losing interest again. This whole, how about just play ball? I mean, they talk about which one's better. They're two different players. Caitlin Clark, I mean, is an amazing, amazing shooter and ball distributor. Great at both. Angel Reese is an excellent, one of the best rebounders. You got to give Clark a little bit of an edge as overall player. For one thing, Reese doesn't know her limitations. If you watch just from the highlights I see and stuff, it seems with Angel Reese, A lot of times now when she pulls up for a three, they don't even guard her. I mean, I've seen video footage of somebody guarding her. Reese will pull up to go for the three and they just turn in towards the basket. That's as disrespectful as it gets. Not everybody's a three-point shooter. So that doesn't help her. You got Dennis Rodman built a whole career on just being a good rebounder. Dennis Rodman wasn't a shooter, but the thing was he knew it. So Dennis Rodman wasn't hanging back trying to bang down a three. He was dishing the ball off to Jordan or Pippen or somebody and letting them bang a three. You just gotta, no matter what you do, you gotta know your limitations and live within them. Car photography says a lot are too busy complaining about how much they are earning compared to men. They don't understand business. 100% they don't. Until Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese came into the league, I mean, attendance was abysmal. The only reason the WNBA still exists is because the NBA supports it financially. They lose money every year. Even last year, when they had their biggest numbers ever, they still lost money. So to think you deserve monster contracts when not enough people are watching your product that your league can even turn a profit, that's pretty ballsy. To be honest with you. Yeah, John Stockton wasn't a great shooter. He was an amazing ball distributor, though. And, of course, he had Karl Malone with him for most of his career, too. That didn't hurt. Now, Spazdev says, did you see Stephen Colbert's talk show has been canceled? I did. I think we're going to see that happen to all the talk shows. Yeah, I was asked about that in a stream yesterday. To me, that's a meh thing just because I was never a Colbert fan, so I don't watch his show. It's not something that I rejoice in. I don't care if he's on the air. It's not going to make a difference to me. I didn't watch it before, and I won't miss it when it's gone. So I don't really have a big take on that, other than I do see a lot of people complaining that, well, if he was canceled just because of his political views, that's wrong. No, you're on a network that is driven by profit. They can cancel you, fire you for any reason they deem fit. Let's Colbert Pro. The Vax was mine. Well, yeah, over the top with it. Yeah, I agree. Hi, Doc. All right, guys. Well, that's about it for this stream today. This was a fun one. I enjoy doing these. Now, if you want to watch later, I may clip some excerpts from this and just be, excuse me, short spots of our conversations. But I like doing these streams. We're going to do these in the regular, and this will be pretty much the format. We'll have a topic 2, 3 that'll lead, and then we'll go into we'll be right back. And then we'll go into just scrolling through probably X most of the time to see what's going on now. And also I'll do a bit.
Hi everyone, I remember you all in therapy.
And our boy Plankton seeing us off. And I will also try and be more cognizant of making sure that I let you guys at this ending section, you can bring up anything at all you want to bring up, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, this was a fun stream. It was a really good time. Thank you all so much for participating, hanging out with me and everything. And I will talk to y'all real soon.
I think I'm going to go pass out now.
I hope, hey, listen, seriously, I hope you feel better, Big Green. That sucks. Yeah, do that. Just pass out. For me anyway, that's what seems to work the most. Get as much rest, get as much sleep as you can. Hope you're feeling better, pal. But I'll be streaming again soon. I can check in with you. All right, you guys. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.